Leader Thune, and I would like to say to everyone, I look forward to making history, hopefully this week, as we continue to make progress on the Genius Act. What does it do? I think it's very important to understand this. We're modernizing the payment system here in America. We're going to put America at the forefront of innovation rather than having America behind as the caboose. This is a dramatic new technology. Innovation is happening here in America. I don't want to see it pushed offshore. I want to see it happening right here. The implications of this are incredible in terms of protecting consumers. Today, it's an unregulated market. What we'll do is make certain that everyone knows that stablecoins are backed by U.S. dollars and that those dollars are backed up by cash and short-term U.S. treasuries, the highest quality instruments, so that these instruments can be used for digital trade all over the world. This will ensure U.S. dollar dominance. It will advance our position as the reserve currency in the world rather than see the retreat and the decline that we might otherwise experience. The other thing that it will do is it will stimulate demand for United States treasuries. In fact, the projections are that by the end of this decade, stablecoin issuers here in the United States will be the #1 holders of U.S. treasuries in the world. Think about that. I'd far prefer a benign stablecoin issuer to the CCP or other sovereign nations. So I think there's a lot to like about this bill. I appreciate the bipartisan support that we've received moving on to it. And I look forward again to making history with my colleagues later this week. Thank you.
Hey, what's going on, Bull Runners? Welcome back to the channel. Buckle up because today's news is huge and you're not going to want to miss a single second of this. Imagine this. Whispers are swirling in the crypto world, secrets that could shake up everything we know about stablecoins, market access, and even government-backed crypto moves. And you may have heard the whispers of a potential blockbuster deal where Ripple, the underdog turned titan, might have quietly snatched up Circle, the powerhouse behind USDC, the second biggest stablecoin out there. If true, this could rewrite the rules of crypto dominance, but that's not all. Global markets just got rocked by a Bloomberg terminal outage, leaving traders blind, delaying a major UK debt auction. Plus, Texas just made a bold move in their own strategic Bitcoin reserve bill, signaling crypto's march into mainstream power. The problem, these shifts are happening fast, and if you don't pay attention, you could miss out on massive opportunities or risks. The solution, stick with me for the next few minutes, and we're going to break it all down for you in simple terms, so that way you can stay ahead of the curve. And here's the kicker. Stay with us until the end of the video because I'm going to be dropping access to Altcoin Secrets, our free ebook that could change how you play the crypto game. Plus, we will be heading over to X to find out all the breaking news that's happening in the financial world today. We will also be jumping over to Forex Factory to follow up on what important news that will finally be breaking tomorrow. Plus, we will be checking on XRP in the charts. We're going to be looking at the most important support and resistance lines ahead for XRP. Plus, we will also be checking in on the long-term and short-term momentum waves. We will also be checking in on Bitcoin officially hitting its new all-time high. According to Bitstamp, it reached 109,874. We'll look for its next support level and potential resistance. But first, let's head over to CoinMarketCap and check out the overall health of the crypto market today. We have officially passed $3.4 trillion. That was a major resistance we were looking to break through on the total market cap for crypto. Total market cap up 1.7% today. As we can see in the last 30 days, it has been moving up slowly with the nice surge and then slowly sideways consolidating, as you can see from May 10th, but finally getting a nice surge up into this new most recent high at $3.44 trillion, having a slight pullback and then moving to the upside again. As we zoom out to the 1 year chart instead of 30 days, we can see our next level that we're going to be looking for, wanting to break above is going to be this $3.6 trillion. Then we can start chasing after that $3.7 trillion all-time high. Fear and Greed Index coming in at 69 in the greed level, which is really good for the regular greed. We haven't reached that extreme greed where we could potentially start to see a sell-off. Yesterday, 68. Last week, a 74. Alt Season Index is still full on Bitcoin orange, Bitcoin season, only 24 out of 100. And as we take a look here, Bitcoin dominance is still 63.3%. It is down slightly today, but in some fantastic news for Bitcoin and the whole crypto markets, today's inflows into the Bitcoin ETFs, 329 million. But that's not even the best news. Yesterday, 667 million inflows into the ETFs. So in the last 30 days, as you can see, we've been ripping to the upside, tons of volume coming in. That's why price has been rising. And when we zoom out to the yearly, this is what we talked about last week. We did finish last week at $616 million. And we talked about we needed to see a larger inflow this week than last week because volume was really starting to decrease, where there was a potential market pullback for Bitcoin. Grateful, we have a huge surge. In fact, it's higher than the last 2 weeks. So if we go back 5 weeks ago, we had $3 billion worth of inflows, the second highest inflows ever into the ETF. 4 weeks ago, 1.8 billion. And then 2 weeks ago, 920. And then last week was getting low, 616 million, but already $996 million coming into Bitcoin ETF inflows this week, and we're still early. We're going to see another week over $1 billion worth of inflows, unless this is a most recent high and we have a crazy pullback, which I don't see. Momentum is here. Retail is not even here yet. So as we take a look here on Google Trends, this is a great indicator of what the actual retail investors are thinking about, searching about. As you remember, this is November 10th to 16th. Google Trends on Bitcoin searches hit a peak top of 100. And as this started coming down, so did the price of Bitcoin. Now, as you can see, we are at extreme lows. Bitcoin's search is only at a 42. So there's tons of people that aren't even aware that we just hit an all-time high on Bitcoin right now. And there's so much room for this metric to rise to the upside. Taking a look at the top 5 cryptos by total market cap, Bitcoin number 1 at 2.1 trillion. Ethereum at 300 billion, Tether at 151 billion, XRP at 139 billion. When will it surpass Tether and become number 3 again? BNB at number 5, currently sitting at 94 billion, and Solana at number 6 at 88 billion. And we will be talking more because we have number 7, USDC, could be acquired by Ripple. Will that help impact the value of XRP? Only time will tell, but this is a massive news that's happening right now. And speaking of massive news, we're going to head over to X now. Don't forget to follow us on x.com. We got at BULLRUNNERS HQ if you're searching for us. And don't forget, right now, we are doing a $100 XRP giveaway. Congratulations to Brendan and everyone for winning our previous XRP giveaway. If you want to win this, all you have to do is like this post, comment XRP below the post, and subscribe to our daily crypto newsletter. So once you click on the link here, bullrunners.com, altcoin secrets, it will bring you to this page where you can get our free ebook, Altcoin Secrets, the underground guidebook to becoming a crypto millionaire. Click the orange button, grab my book, enter your best email address, and boom, you're all set. The winner will be announced in our email newsletter every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. So everyone who subscribes to our daily newsletter gets our free ebook, Altcoin Secrets. And of course, you're going to be locked into the contest. All right, jumping over to X. Here we go. The rumor mill is saying that whispers are circulating that Ripple may have quietly taken over Circle, the company behind USDC and XRP. You may have heard some rumblings about this. Let's dive a little deeper using Grok and see what we are going to be finding. So what Grok tells us here is that Circle's USDC, with the market cap often competing with Tether, has been a key player in the digital finance, but its reserves face scrutiny after a 2023 depegging event due to $3.3 billion being tied up in the Silicon Valley Bank collapse. If you guys remember that, that was an absolute nightmare for the crypto markets, highlighting vulnerabilities in stablecoin backing. Now, that's also why you heard the video in the very beginning that these dollars will have to be backed 1-to-1 with the USD and also or short-term securities from the United States. Ripple's potential acquisition aligns with recent moves like a $1.2 billion purchase of Hidden Road in 2025, aiming to dominate the stablecoin infrastructure, which could boost XRP's utility in global payments, but faces risk from regulatory scrutiny by the SEC, as seen in their 2023 enforcement against 26 crypto entities. And here's some relevant posts to keep in mind. Just in, Circle's USDC is in formal talks to sell itself to Coinbase or Ripple. USDC is the digital dollar. This was actually posted a couple of days ago, basically flexing, trying to run that bidding war up between Coinbase and Ripple. A lot of the XRP fans out there are talking about how Ripple has already required Circle behind the scenes. Obviously, rumors. We haven't got official word on this yet. Now, this is starting to become very interesting when it comes to the case of Ripple, because a lot of people are talking about how Ripple is actually positioning itself to become a full-fledged bank, which could be extraordinary for Ripple and also the XRP pricing. And in a crazy outage today, Bloomberg Terminal, who is always the most respected, the most trusted news source for financial news around the world, they had an outage that disrupted the global markets, declaying the UK debt auction and leaving traders without live pricing. And this is very dangerous because, as you all know, the United States just got their credit rating lowered. A lot of this information is going on as far as the long-term, short-term securities in multiple different states. We saw Japan had no one come to the auction to buy their securities. United States, no one came to the auction to buy their securities. Now we have UK. We don't know if anyone came to buy these securities from them. So as we can see here on May 21st, it was delayed and postponing bond sales to Portugal, Sweden, and reported by Reuters and the Financial Times. What is interesting is this is starting to look very positive for crypto behind the scenes, because replies to the post advocate for decentralized solutions like Chainlink, which operates 24/7, 365, arguing that blockchain-based systems could mitigate such disruptions by eliminating single points of failure. And in a crazy rare sighting in 2025 under the new administration, the SEC charges Unicoin and top executives with fraud after raising over $100 million from 5,000 plus investors through false claims about asset-backed crypto tokens. So you've got to pay attention out there to the coins. You've got to do your own research, as they talk about, or you can be part of a community that can help you vet the coins you're looking into. And that's why we created Altcoin Pro University. Some of you guys watching this are already members. Let us know down in the comments what you think about that so far. But this is a fantastic place if you want to come and get help for anything. In fact, we have a classroom on basically everything crypto, crypto foundations, building blocks of Web3, ironclad security, Web3 navigation, diving into DeFi, technical analysis if you want to learn charting, altcoin research methodology. That's what we're talking about right now. And on top of that, maybe you have already gone through all the videos, but you want to know a little bit more information. The beautiful part is you can go into our general discussion and chat with over 950 different people in here that do crypto on the regular, and they can answer your questions. We cover everything from market updates, altcoin picks, DeFi yield picks, airdrops. If you want to learn any of this information, click the link down in the description. Join Altcoin Pro community today. So let's take a look at our couple wins that have happened in the last couple of days. So this one is from 2 days ago. Here's an update on our Pendle ETH leverage farm, which ran against me in the beginning, but I closed the position with a 32.7% profit in USD terms and around 15 or plus 5.9% more Pendle compared to just holding it initially. Also, one of our altcoin picks here, Labubu. After selling my 881,000 coins a few days ago for 10,000 in profit, I waited to buy more Labubu at a lower price, which did happen shortly after the sell-off. Bought back about 002, bought another 1 million coins again, just sold at 009. Made another $7,800 profit. So if you want to experience wins like this, and we have wins that go on and on and on for days, come join us, Altcoin Pro University, link down in the description. And also help avoid getting involved in these crypto scams. Next up, we have Bitcoin surpasses Amazon to become the 5th largest asset in the world by market cap. And in a unfortunate and gloomy post, Robert Kiyosaki usually is not the unicorns and rainbows type of guy anyway. He's always telling you the truth, but take a look at this. He's always talking about how the United States dollar is coming to an end. Well, he says the end is here. So what if you throw a party and no one showed up? That's what happened yesterday. The Fed held an auction. Now, we just talked about the UK auction. Didn't happen, unfortunately, wasn't put on time. But now we have the Fed held an auction for its US bonds, and no one showed up. So the Fed quietly, the Federal Reserve, bought $50 billion of its own fake money with fake money. The party is over. Hyperinflation is here. Millions, young and old, to be wiped out financially. Good news, gold will go to $25,000, silver to $70, Bitcoin to $500,000 to $1 million. The big print, the title of Larry Lepard's latest book is on. Please read it. The end. I've been warning you about this forever. And in continuation of the dark theme of posts here, we also have the Bank of International Settlements, who is even on top of the Federal Reserve, going full on authoritarian here. Take a listen to this.
Our analysis on CBDC, in particular for the use of general use, we tend to establish the equivalence with cash. And there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also, we will have the technology to enforce that. Those two issues are extremely important, and that makes a huge difference with respect to what cash is.
So, AKA the New World Order wants to have complete control over your money. Right now, you have privacy when you spend cash. When you're spending CBDCs only, they'll be able to track every single transaction. If they don't like the transaction you're going through, they'll cancel it and then obviously cancel you, take your money away. Very scary scenario there when it comes to that. So moving to full digital dollars, CBDC, even stable coins, in my personal opinion, is not the most exciting thing. We should still be able to use fiat currency, paper money for now, unless there is some sort of privacy coins that come out like Monero or something like that, that can continue to have some sort of privacy in the future. We do not want governments to have full control over what we can and cannot do with our money. Breaking today also, Texas has passed their own strategic Bitcoin reserve bill, and this will allow the state to start investing in Bitcoin. The 8th largest economy in the world will now be allowed to buy Bitcoin. Very bullish. And this was a great stat here, Justin. More Americans now own Bitcoin than gold. And this makes total sense because most people do not buy gold and hold it. The only people that I know that buy and hold a decent amount of gold, because it's so heavy, because it takes up a lot of space, are people that have significant wealth, like over millions of dollars in the bank, that actually hold gold. Now, I know a lot of people that own silver, still the same weight, but obviously not as expensive. But the crazy thing is, I don't know, except for my really wealthy friends that actually hold gold, physical gold. But 50 million Americans own Bitcoin. Only 37 million Americans own gold, and gold has been around forever. And this was my favorite post I saw on the internet, how it started, how it's going. As we take a look at this first picture, Elizabeth Warren is building an anti-crypto army. She hates crypto. And then over here, this is when the bill passed yesterday from the House, moving on to the Senate. You can see she is not happy. And interestingly enough, last night, Bitcoin did make history, recording its new highest daily closed candle. A couple of days ago, it was the highest weekly closed candle, then daily closed candle, and then today an official all-time high above the previous high wick. So things are looking strong for Bitcoin. And here's a clip talking about the Genius Act and what it's going to be doing for the United States.
So what are stablecoins? They're pegged to the value of an asset like the dollar. They're often used to make payments and send remittances because they move money quickly and cheaply. Bam Azizi is the CEO of a crypto payments network.
Now, for the first time ever, every single consumer in the U.S. can own a piece of crypto, which is in this time stablecoin, which has all the benefits of Bitcoin and the crypto industry or cryptocurrencies and none of the downside because it's pegged to US dollar.
The Genius Act, bill creating rules for stablecoins, has passed a procedural vote in the Senate. What's next, Lauren?
It's considered a crucial victory because now the legislation can move to the Senate floor for debate, with the final vote as early as Friday. White House crypto advisor Bo Hines tells us the Genius Act will strengthen dollar dominance, upgrade our payment rails, and position the United States to lead the globe in digital asset technology innovation. Bam Azizi is the CEO of a crypto payments network called Mesh.
Now the banks are enabled to legally own stablecoins on their balance sheet. So they use the stablecoin and crypto rails to make payments faster, cheaper, more instant. Also, cross-border payments much cheaper. So you get all the benefits, but you might not even know that the US dollar that shows on your Bank of America app, for instance, behind the scene is a state.
And this was a crazy post I saw yesterday as well. Imagine Ripple buys Circle, USDC, and Coinbase all together. This is from Nathaniel CJ Rothschild. Not sure if that's a real Rothschild. When you look at his account here, only has 9,000 followers, so I totally doubt it. But it is a great point. What if Ripple does buy both of them? That would be absolutely nuts. And SEC did delay the 21 share spot XRP ETF. We have seen some ETFs and ETPs coming out for XRP, but no spot ETFs have launched yet. Once we get that, we're going to see some real supercharged liquidity coming into XRP. All right, so let's go ahead and head over to the charts. Now, what we have been talking about ever since our short-term momentum wave here, the shaft trend cycle, reached its peak of 100. We talked about there was going to be a potential reset to the downside, and it has been occurring. Now, the good news is we are riding in bullish territory on our long-term momentum. That's why we have not seen a crazy dramatic decrease in price to the downside. It's more of a consolidation. That one candle here on the initial tick down on May 15th was a little brutal, about a 10% drop there, 8.45% to be exact. And ever since then, consolidation right here along the sideways, holding up above our 30 exponential moving average. So what I'm looking for right now is our short-term shaft trend cycle to finish resetting to zero, start its move back up. It will then need to break above the 10 exponential moving average and then move back into our levels here of $2.52, which will be our next resistance level. And then after that, we could see a nice break to the upside up in this $2.86 range. When we check in on our weekly chart, it's looking really well. As we can see right here, our long-term momentum has maintained bullish momentum above the zero line, staying green instead of flipping red. But the most exciting part here is the weekly shaft trend cycle. We can see that last time it reset itself down to zero here. There was the way up, this green line moving to the upside. It made a huge, massive move to the upside. We have just barely started ticking up. We have a very long way to continue our way up to the 100 level on the shaft trend cycle, where we could definitely see ourselves getting back to the $3 to all the way up to $3.75 in my personal opinion. Now, it may take 24 to 48 hours for this move to start to the upside. As we can see here on the daily, we do have a green candle on the day, but it is not very strong in volume. As we take a look here at Bitcoin, we know that most of the momentum is here. Now, Bitcoin is having the same scenario. We've got this big push to the upside already as of late, and the shaft trend cycle daily is starting to make its move. As we can see, last time its daily made its move, it made it from $94,000 up to a high here of $103,000. But when we take a look at the weekly charts, where it gets very exciting, we can see the cycle reset, started making its move to the upside. And during this move to the upside, where we're riding the green to the highs, we're up 28% as of yesterday. Now today, we're up 32% to the upside. And the reason why I'm saying this is very exciting is because we're looking at Bitcoin here on the weekly. You can see this is starting to make its turn up. Price rejected off the 10 exponential moving average, shot to the upside. If we take a look at XRP, it is just barely starting to crank to the upside. Bitcoin has already made its full move. XRP is lagging behind, but take a look here. It rejected off the 10 several times, finally made a bump, retesting the 10 now here on the weekly. Would love to see this surge back up above 250. Like I said, potentially resulting in up to that 375 range. This is based off of our weekly spider lines here, but also let's go ahead and run a Fibonacci from the most recent high, aka the all-time high, to our most recent low here, the pullback. As we can see, after we break back above these highs, the next level to the upside, the 1618, is $4.50. And then the level above that is $6.29. And then the level above that is $8.08. And then for a full measured move to the upside, we're looking at $9.18. So XRP has tons and tons of potential moves to the upside as we searched Bitcoin earlier in the Google Trends. So as we can see here over the last 12 months, as we talked about earlier, Bitcoin is at a 42 search. There are more eyeballs on it. Retail is not really here yet. We're not even above the 50 range, But then we take a look at XRP. It's all the way down at 17. So retail's not back into XRP yet. Plus, we have obviously institutions not wanting to fully join XRP yet because of the legal battle has not officially ended. Now, one other thing that really bothers me right now about XRP is if they're going to buy Circle USDC, they have already offered $4 billion and got rejected. If they're coming in at $9 billion, which is rumors, $11 billion is the newest rumor that I've seen. They're going to have to sell some XRP in order to get cash on hand. And that is potentially what is hurting XRP to the upside. If they're unloading millions of XRP right now to acquire billions of dollars in cash to make the purchase, that is going to hold us up from moving to the upside. Remember, they hold a large amount of XRP. Now, the other thing that's rumored is that this purchase may be 40% of it may be purchased with XRP, and the other 60% would be the cash. So that could be very exciting. The owners currently of USDC taking in a bunch of XRP, holding it for themselves as well. Time will tell. We'll keep you updated the whole way there. Make sure you subscribe today. Talk to you soon. Hey, bull runners, are you feeling FOMO about this bull run without the right financial support? We're here to change that. We're not just about funding. We're about growing your business together. Whether you're investing in crypto, kicking off a new startup, managing your existing business, or looking to expand, we have personalized funding that meets your exact needs. Imagine starting your business or getting capital to invest $100,000 to $250,000 at 0% interest. That's not a dream. It's what we do. We've helped countless entrepreneurs like you with 0% interest funding without needing personal funds, income verification, or collateral. With just a 680 credit score, you qualify. We understand that your business can't wait, so take advantage of our quick funding approach. We look beyond the credit score with inclusive approval process that sees the big picture of your business or investment potential. Our flexible repayments are tailored to match your business cycles, ensuring you can manage repayments without strain. With access to our extensive lending network of over 5,000 options, we're committed to finding the perfect match for your business or investing needs. Plus, you'll have our dedicated team by your side, guiding you through every step of the funding journey. Whether it's buying crypto, hiring new employees, or launching a new product, we're committed to your success. Click the link to connect with our expert advisors and secure your business's future now.